Hey guys, welcome back to How Come. Today is a very special day. We're sitting here with one of my dear friends from comedy on Ramadan, the first day of Ramadan.
Ramadan's tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, so I'm getting...
What? My calendar's lying to me.
Well, the thing is, even amongst Muslims, we have debates as to when Ramadan starts. So, because it's all based on the moon sighting. You know, so calendars they're only going to be within, a day or two. So, and then us as communities also. Some people start different days. And
damn it.
I'm starting tomorrow.
I didn't eat out of solidarity.
Really? Well, it's also not even one. So
sundown?
So tomorrow will be the first day. So at 5:30 a.m. we'll stop eating and drinking, and then we'll be able to eat again around 8 p.m. Eat and drink again around 8 p.m.
Right, so we wouldn't be able to eat right now.
Right now, if today was Ramadan.
Today was
Ramadan.
Yeah,
if today was. Yeah,
which
yeah,
it is
for
not.
sure.
Okay, so I'll redo my intro.
No, it's a good intro. No, I like it. I like getting
that
into
was informative.
Yeah, that was informative.
Our calendars are liars.
We move on.
You guys, he's a stand-up comedian who you've not only seen on Late Night with Stephen Colbert, but he also now has his own 10-episode comedy series on Hulu called Ramy, and he has an HBO special coming out in June. You guys give it up for Ramy Youssef.
Oh, that's a great woo.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I miss being in the same room with you
What?
because people would always be like Ramy and Remy.
Yeah, it's cute.
It was cute,
It's
right?
cute.
Like a little...
Somebody give us a series. I know you already have Ramy, but Ramy and Remy has a real ring to it.
I'm in the spinoffs.
I spent this whole morning watching your show.
Oh, man.
I was a little surprised to see my screen name as one of the people bullying you for not being able to masturbate as a child in a chat room.
Yeah, so we were doing this chat room scene. And I think I messaged you and I said, hey, what was your screen name when you were a kid?
Yeah.
And then you told me, and then I made it one of the screen names of my assailants.
Yep. You made me say fag. And you just made me say it again.
Well, it's funny because we were looking at that scene and I think it reads very accurately to what a chat room looked like in 2000.
And I was in those chat rooms. I just wasn't bullying people. I was pretending to be a gay guy and having cyber sex with other gay guys.
Well, that's a choice that we didn't take creatively. But,
yeah.
But yeah.
But was that a thing that actually happened? Like, were you really getting bullied for being the last person to jack off?
No, I mean, we explore that in the show, and a lot of what we talk about in the show hits on themes of sexuality, because it's something that, doesn't, I think it's tough for any kid, but then I think culturally we didn't talk about it that much. And so feeling left out of the conversation.
As a Muslim kid.
Yeah, as a Muslim kid, also just as a kid that sometimes I would be like, I don't even know if this is because I'm Muslim or it's because I don't have an older brother. If you have like an older sibling who kind of gives you the lay of the land, I think it's anyone who has parents that aren't going to talk about those things. So I just remember feeling really left out of certain things and not knowing what things were. And so when you already feel like an outsider because of other things, and then there's that was really what we were capturing with that episode.
Totally.
So I wasn't really bullied. I remember someone made fun of me online because I said, I was like, hey, do you want to come over? And I spelled it C-U-M. And then this kid, Joey, was like, oh, you don't know what that means, do you? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, never mind. And then he logged off. And
what?
And I was like, oh, shit, what do I not know?
Sounds like he doesn't know either, though.
No, he knew. Joey knew everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Joey he kind of understood the lexicon better than I did.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting that you were uncomfortable with that stuff because you're one of the people that like encouraged me. Do you remember this night at the stand?
I do. Yeah, you were talking to me about the idea.
Yeah, but it was because I was sitting with Julie, Ricky's wife now.
Yep.
Talking about how I was like, I feel like broken and like dysfunctional and stuff, and like you heard me from like down the bar and you were like, what did you say? And I was like, what? And you were like, you feel broken? Why? Like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I can't come. And you were like, you need to work on that. That's like important. And I was like, you're right. But it was like a lot of the women that I had been talking to were saying that, but none of the guys, like the guys I were like dating but it was all these women being like, yeah, that's important. Yeah, that's important. I'm like, I don't believe you. And then like, it was like a guy being like, no, you need to nut, bro. I was like, you're so right.
I didn't realize that was something that
was impactful.
It didn't hit me at all.
Thanks, friend.
Hey, I always want everyone to get what they're looking for. That's always a priority.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You have jokes about your parents' sex talk?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to reiterate the joke because that is bad podcast form. But basically, it doesn't sound like you had much of one.
It's played up a bit in the stand-up. I actually had I had some pretty good conversations with my dad about it. But they were so, I think my dad is very communicative. He's very open.
That's nice.
What's
that like? Just kidding, Dad. You're getting so much better. We love you. We're obsessed with you. I love our Monday night dinners.
And Mom, you're great too.
And Mom, you're wonderful.
No, I had good talks with my dad, but it was always like, okay, now we're done. Whew. It's not an easy thing to talk about, I think, with any, you don't want to talk about that stuff with your parents.
Well, because I feel like you don't want to talk about it because then like you're picturing it. And I mean like both of you, like they're picturing you doing stuff and you're picturing them doing stuff. And like no one wants to do that, which is what I'm suffering from right now because like since watching your series this morning, like your parents' characters fuck. And now I feel like I've like invaded your home life.
That was something that we were really pumped about for the show. I just wanted to see parents do it. You never see parents do it, and let alone Arab parents, and so it was a really fun scene.
What do they think of it?
It's funny because my parents, I think, really like the show, but there are clearly parts that they don't like.
Yeah.
And so they kind of just focus on the stuff they like. So you'll be like, what do you think of this? And they'll go, what I really liked was in Egypt. And you're like, wait, what about that thing I asked you about? They're not, they're kind of, they're not
supportive.
They're not EPs on the show.
Yeah.
So they kind of have accepted that we're going to disagree on things. And, but they're proud. Thing is, it's not based on them. And so, so much of it, I think, is easier for them because they watch the show and they see the family that's in the show.
Right.
And it's pretty clear right off the bat, oh, okay, this isn't us. My mom hasn't pressured me to get married. My dad isn't like the dad in the show. So they know they're watching something that's, an alternate reality.
Totally.
Yeah.
And stand-up, too, is the same. They're
Stand-up's
like, we know
same.
we didn't have this conversation.
Yeah, this wasn't a conversation.
Yeah.
But it hits, so much of, with the show, with the stand-up, it's always about, like, it feeling emotionally correct, And so it's really about how that emotion sits in a family or in the community. Whether it actually plays out that way it's rarely,
Yeah. Well, you were saying the community is split on how they view the show, the Muslim community.
Yeah, I think on a wide range, the reactions to the show have been awesome.
Yeah, like you're getting written up everywhere. It's fantastic. Yay, Ramy. I'm so glad that someone with such a similar name is doing so well.
Paving the way for those with similar names. So it's, I guess the easiest way to say it is it's a dark comedy about a Muslim family. But what it's really about is it follows my character who is somebody that isn't trying to run away from his faith or his culture. He's not trying to erase it. I think a lot of times we see these stories where it's like, fuck you, mom and dad. I want to be with Jennifer and and I don't believe in all that outdated shit. It's not that. It's a guy who he feels really religious. He feels like it's, he believes in God and he prays and he fasts, he does all these things, but then he's also pulled by his desires, and he does things that clearly break the rules. And that's how I've always felt, where there's what I believe and then there's what I actually do.
Yeah.
And so it's not co-signing the behavior. It's not saying, oh, this is a good thing. Actually, a lot of what the show is about is guilt, and how we operate with the obligations that we have to our family, our faith, our culture, and where that takes us, and the holes we go in to as we're trying to absolve that guilt or as we get pulled further by our desires. And it's the kind of story that I was really excited to tell for a while. And I made the show with Gerard Carmichael, who, we both met like years ago, and we're like, oh wait, we both, kind of have similar feelings on this. The way we talk about God, and we don't want it to be this thing where it's like heaven, like angels in heaven, or like the priest that does coke. It's not. There's no trope. It's just a guy that everybody knows.
Right.
I think people know this guy. It's just somebody that you grew up with, or maybe you feel a little similar to him, and you're watching him fuck up.
It's interesting while I'm watching it because I'll go back and forth being like, come on, Ramy, like just be yourself, like do whatever you want to do. And then I'll go back and I'll be like, come on, Ramy, just be a good Muslim boy, like make your parents happy. Like I'm like, my emotional ties are like pulled. And so you really feel like the struggle of the character.
Yeah. And I think that's something that it's been really cool to see people connect with, because this is an American story, right? It's like, this is an immigrant experience, but this is, I think, something that a lot of us go through regardless. And so it's really, it's exciting seeing him kind of pulled internally, because a little bit is about making his parents happy, but it's also really like his own moral compass, and his own understanding of when he's in the wrong and wanting to be good. And so it's been really fun to play with that space.
Totally. Did you hold on to your V card for a long time because of that?
Yeah, I did for a while. And then I took like an acting class.
What do you mean?
I took one of those acting classes that was like,
touch
open
everyone.
up your emotions. What are you doing? Open it. Yeah, I talk about this in the show, but it's interesting because it's sex complicates things. It really like, and I there's something about doing it with the person that you have more invested in that I think is right, and that I think and I think the idea of waiting until you're married, it's tough because of how we view marriage, right? Like the way marriage is set up is marriage is this whole thing. It's this like, it's a production. It's like it's a Hollywood fucking production. And then there's this stigma around divorce. And I'm not saying that people should just get married to have sex, but I think that marriage is an agreement with people who have values and that there's, I think we could reach those things with people in easier ways than we kind of have it set up now. It seems like this really daunting thing. And I don't think that that's how it has to be. But I think that, I waited for a while, and I continually am like, I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is how definitely the casual thing is really tough. I was telling you about the Instagram DM I got. No, I just got a message yesterday that was like, do you want to, hey, we think you're really funny. We're in New York. We know you're in New York. Do you want to have a threesome? And I was like, no, I don't. I just don't. I don't know if that's the right thing.
I mean, in my one experience in a threesome, it was not fun. And it's because I wasn't invested in both people. I think you have to be invested in everyone involved.
There's got to be a level, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to be invested in one person.
Exactly.
You can be invested in two. It's overwhelming, but thank you for the DMs. I mean, truly,
keep sliding.
Truly, appreciate it.
It's good for confidence.
But yeah, it's there's this element of I think that you go really deep with a person, obviously, but you want to know what you're getting into, I think. And I think there should be like a thoughtfulness.
Yeah, and a level of trust so that you can like communicate and actually have good sex.
Well, there's also stakes, right? It's like sex is, the point kind of is the kid thing. I mean, like that's like a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like that could happen at any point. I mean,
if you're having intercourse, yes.
Regardless of any precaution. I mean, everyone's heard the birth control and condom, and somehow we got like, it's not always going to happen, but it happens. And so you kind of want to know. Well, I think you want to know, but that's for me, I mean, I think other people kind of go at it from different ways. That fits my rhythm,
Totally. I mean, if somebody did end up getting pregnant, would you be like very upset to have to terminate, or would you?
Well, it's not my choice,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's first off, it would be her choice. I would be ready. I'd be like, let's do it. Let's have the kid.
Really?
Yeah. I'd be like, let's have a kid. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm 28.
Oh, Ramy,
I'm
that'd be so cute.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready. But that's why it's like, okay, well, you don't want to be doing it with someone that you wouldn't want to have a kid with. That's
like something our mom always said to me. She's like, yeah, you can start having sex whenever you're ready to have a kid. And I was like, well, wait, what? Like, I'd still not be having sex. I don't think. Like, kids are great, but I don't think you want me taking care of one.
I think you would step up and be a great mom, actually.
Thanks.
I think you would. I think you'd have like a gear
with
kick
really
in.
similar names.
Name it Ramy.
Roman. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I think is really important and interesting about the show is that like your coming of age story happens at a really important time, like in American life, which was like 2001, 9/11 year.
Yeah, that episode. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like all of your flashbacks go back to like that year, which is like, I remember where I was that day, and like, I never thought of it from the perspective of a kid in a Muslim family who's like, shit, now we're going to get blamed for so much stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's the blame, but then it's also the, fearing yourself, and this is something I would talk about a bunch where, the name of one of the World Trade Center bombers was Ramy Youssef.
No
this
way.
is like almost my name.
Yeah.
And so you start to wonder, oh, like, is this all of us? They're saying it is. Is it? And then, you're at an age where your parents are the people who set the rules and tell you to clean your room. And so there's an angst already. And then you're like, are they in on us?
Yeah.
What's going on here? These people who make you come home at a certain time, and, are they part of this shit? And, it's just fear. It's that internalized fear. And that's where being in an environment that you stick out a little bit starts to get to you, and then you push past it, and quite the opposite happens, where you actually become proud of who you are. At least that's what happened for me.
Were you guilty when you were masturbating as a kid?
I'm guilty when I masturbate now.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
oh my
I'm
God.
like, but like not like, it's not that I don't, I could enjoy it, but I'm always like, man, there's all this other shit I should be doing. There's the level of it too, where I feel, boxers don't do it before a match, like for a reason. Like, I think there's a reason. They're kind of like, okay, there's like a life force here.
Okay.
So I don't want to do it. I never want to do it too much,
Well, there's like a thing in Tantra that says that men should come as little as possible.
As little as possible.
Yeah.
And that's Tantra.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm all for, like, again, I told you, figure out how to, because I think because you should know what that feels like. And
Totally.
it doesn't mean that that's
And
the
you
space
were
you should
right.
always
It's great.
live in. Right? No, for sure. Because you need to know. But then once you know, it's kind of like, all right, well, what am I going to do with this? And is this really what I want to make my life revolve around? And it's so powerful that your life could revolve around it so easily. And it really is important to have that not be the center of everything. And I think as a dude, it's so easy for it to go that way and go down that way, which is why, that's where the, like, whatever level of abstinence you can bring to something like that, just from certain things, I think it's there for a reason. I always think about this of like how, humans, we're the only ones, creature wise, who we have like a desire, and then we're able to like kind of
Dolphins love banging.
They love banging, but can they stop
rape.
themselves from banging? That's the thing.
I don't know.
So I don't think they can. I think we're the only ones who have a desire, and we're like, no, let me hold off. All the other animals are kind of like, they might strategize, but once they see they can go in, for their kill, like, okay, I can do this thing, or I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. Like, if they have it in front of them, they have their like mechanics, but we're the only ones who could like actively abstain.
Yeah.
Like, there's no animal that's going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to have sex for 4 months.
We're the
like,
only
if they
ones
get the
who,
chance.
like, decide to be monogamous.
Right.
Too.
There's something about like that like ability to not do something where you're almost like, okay, well, if that's a feature, It
Then I
probably
should
means
use
we
that
should use.
feature.
There's probably something satisfying to that feature. There's a reason it's built in. There's something about that is part of us feeling satisfied. There's a level of satisfaction to not doing something.
Sure.
And that doesn't mean you're always not doing something, but it's kind of important to keep that in mind because everyone's always like, oh, just do what you feel, man, like free will and all this stuff and that and that. But if you're constantly doing what you feel, that doesn't end well, or you need to be like really, really hyper aware to know that something you're feeling is to not do something,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Balance is good though.
And you got messed up with those women's multivitamins.
Yeah.
I did. They're so delicious though.
You OD'd on them.
I don't want to like blow up the whole show.
Yeah. You don't want to give the plot.
Yeah. Because like I love it and I want everyone to watch it.
I want people to watch it too. How do you talk about it as vague as possible? Let's get real broad in themes.
Real broad in themes. People fetishizing people during sex.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's a scene that's like very off-putting.
Yeah.
But I think it'll appeal to a lot of people because a similar thing has happened.
Well, there's a scene where, it's based off of I was dating someone. It doesn't happen to me in the show, but it was based off of like I went on a couple of dates with somebody who I could tell she was just into that I was Muslim. And we kept going to like Middle Eastern restaurants. She's like, "Is this authentic? Is this good?" It became a real life Yelp associate.
Tried the Muslim, was good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that happens a lot?
Not a lot, but but I think it happens to women for sure. I wouldn't say as a guy that's something that I'm dealing with all the time.
Hold on,
There's children. Yeah.
Result of sex. Direct
That's been
result.
like on a lot of episodes recently. It's like children screaming in the background.
I like it. It's a reminder.
Don't
That's
do
where
it.
this leads.
Don't have sex. Just masturbate because that never results in a baby. I've tried and it never results in a baby. Not one time. Do you remember the first time you came or tried jacking off?
I don't know if I do.
No?
I'm trying to think. I think it was a wet dream. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty
Yeah.
common.
As a kid,
For
you wake
boys.
up and you're like, this isn't pee.
Yeah. But then do you have like a moment of like, oh, I should try and achieve this pee again? Or like, when was your first intentional orgasm then?
Must have been probably around that time too. I'm trying to think. I remember seeing porn way too soon. That definitely, like, I just felt like I don't know that we were supposed to see porn when we did.
Like, was it shown to you
13 or
from like a
something.
friend?
No, I remember like it being in a buddy's place for sure. But then I remember seeing it on a computer, and it's just, I think back now and I'm like, oh my God, I was 13 or something. It's like too much. And I'm curious what it's done to us. I'm sure there's people
Especially the type of porn that existed at the time. Like now there's a lot of great porn that you can see that's not going to scar you for life.
Right.
But I feel like the stuff that we were being shown
it was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was like violent. Like
Yeah.
I remember seeing like a horse in a porno.
Exactly.
Right?
Mr. Hands.
Wasn't that like a thing?
It was a thing. Like literally somebody I was hooking up with in college held my head and made me watch that video because I had avoided it.
What?
Yeah. Ugh.
Who's that person?
Horrible guy.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. That I was just like, oh.
That's kind of like the 2 girls, 1 cup kind of thing.
I have still avoided that one.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Ew.
Are those like considered porn though?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Those
Some
are like weird
people.
internet sensations.
But it's ultimately porn.
No, I don't. No, I think that's porn.
Ick.
Yeah, a weird internet sensation is like
It's
an
still
American Idol
porn.
video.
Yeah, like William Hung.
Yeah, William Hung. Gangnam Style.
Paul Potts.
Those are all internet sensations. 2 girls,
Fair.
1
Two
cup.
Girls, One
Porn.
Cup is porn.
That's porn. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of the porn that we watched too was like in a group. It wasn't like to like enjoy yourself. And there's a really cute meme going around the internet that we should post because a lot of people have sent it to us. And it's like the images in sex that they don't show you in porn, and it's like cuddling and kissing and like all this stuff, and like it's really cute. And like if we had been seeing more of that stuff, I don't think we'd be like, "Gah, sex."
Yeah, I just wish I hadn't seen any of it though.
Yeah,
I should have waited till much later.
When would have been the right time?
Probably 23. Yeah, maybe I would have finished college.
You have to have a degree before you can see porn.
I just look at how society would flourish. If we were like, everyone can watch porn once
done.
you could graduate
I
college.
don't know though, because I feel like I've gotten more done since having orgasms.
Sure.
Like before, I used to just like sit around angry
without
and now,
porn. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
that's you don't like tying porn and doing that is really dangerous.
Tying
too.
porn to orgasms.
Yeah, to being like that's the only way. That's the That's the thing. It's almost like you don't have to eat, you cook at home. You don't have to order out every time. Like, not that that's what but there's we don't. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's effective. I think we just wait.
It's effective.
I would say porn is effective. I don't watch it anymore, but I did for a while.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was like, I don't think this is. Yeah, this is fucking with my brain a little bit.
Really? I feel like a lot of guys have said that lately, that they're like addicted to porn. I guess I don't feel.
Well, because we don't have moderate. We just go. I don't know. I don't know if it's different for men and women, but I know for me and other people I've talked to, it gets to a place where it just gets weird. Like,
do you ever had, or did you, when you were still watching porn, have like porn dreams? Like, did it like leak into your subconscious?
No, that didn't happen to me.
That would fuck me up.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're getting into a white van.
You also have a friend on the show who's based on your real life friend who has muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Steve's amazing.
But yeah, we had an episode on sex and disability and how difficult that can be. Have you ever assisted your friend?
Oh, in sex? No,
I
haven't. I've assisted him with pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
But he does very well for himself in that department.
In the fucking department?
Yeah. I mean, he has a very loving girlfriend that he's had for a couple years.
That's awesome.
But he's like always, he's always had some good relationships, which is amazing. I mean, he's such an amazing person, and it's not hard. It's like it's so much easier than you would think, is what it is actually.
Sure.
For I mean, there's obviously logistics, but yeah, he charming guy.
Yeah, I think it may be different for guys than girls. Yeah. One of the women we had on the episode was saying that she was like every sexual encounter for her was like pretty scary because like she's at like the mercy of the person that's going to be like lifting her. Can't run away if something goes down. There is less of a risk with a woman, or if you just get to know the person.
Yeah, just get to know them.
But it's like that same laying the groundwork of like we're going to have like this level of trust before we enter into like a sexual relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't want to discourage casual sex because I think some people have better casual sex than they do with people that they actually know.
Yeah. I don't either. I mean, I'm. Yeah, this is just stuff I
just
think.
for you. Yeah. And for me too, like I wasn't good at any casual sex ever. Like I'd get to in my head, or like oxytocin would take hold and I just like fall in love. Like just falling in love and shit. And
you have to do what's right for you.
You have to do what's right for your like specific makeup and like what won't leave you guilty in the morning. Like one of the things that I like about your stand-up is you talk about always fucking with a condom because you're like, it doesn't feel better to like worry. Like it feels, it physically feels better, but in my head it feels better that I know you're not going to be pregnant tomorrow.
Yeah, condoms feel better on Monday. Yeah. Yeah. You just, I don't have to worry.
That's so true. Like the mental comfortability is so much of sex.
Yeah.
Like we've said that before.
Yeah.
Like prep sex, basically. Like whether it's like you're on the pill or setting the scene, like you just want to be in the moment and not worrying about something else during it.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think, the reason why it's in, we have a lot of scenes with sex in the show. And so we're talking a bit about, backtracking a little, we're talking about the perception of it in the community, right? And so we're looking at, it's something that doesn't get talked about all the time in the Muslim community, and opening it up, I think it all the scenes in the show lead to really important character moments. So it's not sex for the sake of sex. It's more, what is this going to tell us about these people, and what is it going to open up, and how can we get to a place that otherwise would have been kind of a sensitive tightrope to get to, but because we're able to be this vulnerable, what does it tell us, about how we feel about the character and how we feel about the moment? And so I think it's interesting because people, I would say in a broader audience, who are comfortable with discussing sex, kind of watch the show and they're like, man, this guy's praying all the time. It's like a really religious show.
Yeah.
And then people who are in a more conservative place or a more religious space watch and they're like, oh man, why is this dude only having sex?
Yeah.
So I think you kind of come at it from different points of view depending on what it is that you don't discuss in your life.
Yeah.
And so it says a lot about the viewer, which is really cool, not that, this is a perfectly executed piece of art, and it's only on the viewer, but I do think that we were able to make characters that people do care about. And so the reaction that comes from it is very indicative of kind of what it is that you don't talk about, or what it is that you have a sensitivity around, and it's kind of designed to open up those conversations.
Yeah, I think it's really enlightening, and I do care about all of the characters like so much. Do you think it holds you like more accountable to yourself, like seeing yourself prey on the show and stuff? Like, does it inspire you to do it more in real life?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that is always a part of my life, but I don't. Of course, it raises, because I don't want to feel, within myself that I just did this thing for TV.
Totally.
And I kind of struggled with it a lot, because even praying and doing these things are very private acts. It's something that you do for yourself, and to publicize it, you have to weigh, what is that going to do to you, and why are you doing that? What are the intentions? And so those are kind of rabbit holes that I went down, but ultimately I kind of felt like it was important to show it.
Yeah.
We had
you don't want to feel like you're like using.
You don't want to feel like you're using it, but then it's also, we did a test. They do test audiences on episodes, and so we did a test audience for the pilot, and the pilot opened up at the mosque. When we tested it, it now opens up with this scene in a car outside with me and my mom, but it had opened up, just in the mosque with people speaking Arabic. And because it was in the mosque and they saw prayer in Arabic, the test audiences for the first 7 minutes thought it was a show about terrorism, just because people were praying and saying Allahu Akbar.
That's insane.
That's the framework of where people are at. And so it really, I kind of had that internal debate of, man, I don't want to sell this out. This is very important to me and all of that. But then what outweighed that was, but we have to be shown doing this as what it actually is, which this is a place where you go to a mosque to solve your problems, or you pray to, show thanks, and this is a daily part of dealing with the world for these characters. And it's not indicative of anything more than that. And so it felt really important to do it, and it also simultaneously does make me feel absolutely more accountable, and more accountable to the community that it's portraying, more accountable to myself, my own values. And so it's I think that's what it should do. I think it should raise the bar. It should raise the bar for conversation. It should raise the bar for creativity, and it should raise the bar for just integrity in general.
Yeah, I mean, I feel held accountable to this podcast, but in a great way. I think it's really helpful to me that if I'm having a conversation, I'm not necessarily asserting myself, or whether I'm fucking and not asserting myself. I think back to this podcast, I'm like, what would the companions think of you right now? You have to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
And it's important. Do you think since 9/11, have people gotten more understanding of the Muslim experience, or do you think because in recent years with all Trump and shit?
Yeah, it gets ratcheted up at different times. I think there was like a little bit of oddness after 9/11, but almost after 9/11, it kind of felt like, well, that was bin Laden and the Taliban and stuff,
Right.
But then it's kind of been retooled and turned into, no, this is everybody. I think it continues to get repoliticized. It's one of those things that in many ways, it's actually the heat is hotter now than it was, almost 20 years ago now, 17, whatever. So it continues to get,
worse.
We keep re-engaging with it in ways that, are then very much bolstered when any small attack happens or, et cetera, like that kind of thing. All feeds to the fire of it. I mean,
totally.
One of Obama's, biggest criticisms against him was that he was Muslim, you know what I mean? And
right.
That was like a thing where everyone was like, all the Republicans were like, he's Muslim,
Yep.
Also, all the Muslims were like, yeah, he's Muslim.
There were people in our own family who called him Barack Hussein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's what my family would say too.
Oh, but with a different connotation.
It was a compliment. Yeah, they're like, Barack Hussein, he's us. He's one of us. Yeah. Yeah. Hussein,
No,
he's not going to be Muslim?
Some of the conservatives, I'm not allowed to name them anymore. I get yelled at.
Oh, family members?
Yeah.
You can't be out here naming your family.
Just you got to write characters based on them, and then it's okay. I'll write a character named Nanny, but it's not
Remy.
Nanny. No, Nanny's not the one who said that. Sorry. No, Nanny's not the one who said that, you guys. I love Nanny. She's so cute. Everybody love her.
Nanny 4E.
Speaking of Nanny and resting,
We have an ad.
it's
for
Helix mattress.
Oh, cool.
And it's unreal. So it's my mattress. You can sit on this. And they hear us talk
coming.
about it all the time. Yeah, Ramy's going to test it out.
Coming.
It's the best, coziest bed. Take a lie.
Whoa.
Isn't it nice? Oh my
Now
God.
He's
cuddling
asleep now.
Shar.
It's the best bed.
Is this a full size?
This is a queen.
It's a queen?
Yeah. It's really nice. I can't pull my headphones.
I'm like
fall off.
skeptical of it being a queen. I'm like, huh.
Yeah, why don't you think it's a queen?
I guess I do.
I guess I do now.
No, but it's like the perfect combination of firm and soft. Like
That sounds cool.
I've never slept better in my life.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And Remy has one too.
I have one too.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, sounds great. You were at my old house, and you sat on my old bed. It was really comfy. This one's even better. They're the most comfortable mattresses. They're specifically matched to you based on your sleep preferences, your weight, your height, all that stuff. If you are in a couple, it'll do that too.
Ooh.
How does Helix do it so well? You take a sleep quiz online. It's like taking a BuzzFeed quiz, only with an outcome that you're going to be like, oh, this is exciting. Now I have this amazing mattress that changes my life. Also, Helix is offering up to $125 off on any orders right now at helixsleep.com/howcome. Again, that is helixsleep.com/howcome for $125 off your next order. And you guys, you really want these mattresses. And also, did you know that they will help us if you go? Helix is offering us a little percentage of every mattress order. So you could be funding this podcast while funding your better night's sleep. So again, go to helixsleep.com/howcome. Fuck you, Horn. And get a better night's sleep, assuming that Horn is not outside your window. Again, $125 off your any order. helixsleep.com/howcome.
Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Okay, cool. That's such a great ad, Ramy. A big theme of the show, and I think your life too, is figuring out if you want to end up with a Muslim woman.
Yeah.
Are you actively dating, looking on the sites? I know once you lovingly messaged me and asked if you should direct message Charlotte on Raya.
I know. I didn't because I felt nervous. Yeah. I was really debating it, but I didn't.
Well,
I'm not at the moment just because of all this stuff.
too busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But, it's something to think about on the show. it would be cool. I mean, it would be really cool to be with someone who is, you don't have to explain yourself
Right,
to.
totally.
It's kind of amazing on that level.
Yeah, like somebody else who's also watched all of Summer Heights High.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
It holds up, by the way.
I know. And Lunatics is amazing. Have you
Oh
seen
no, I
Lunatics
haven't seen
yet?
it. No,
Yeah.
but I realized Summer Heights High, they pulled it off HBO.
Why?
Because he made like a new deal or whatever with Netflix or whatever. But the only place you can watch it right now is YouTube.
Okay, well.
But it's up there.
You
I was
guys,
trying to watch
If you haven't
it.
watched Summer Heights High, go on YouTube. Check
Oh,
out Chris
man.
Lilly. He's the best character actor of our generation.
Unreal.
Chris,
Unreal.
if you want to do this show,
Right.
write in.
Mies.
Write in, miss.
Yeah, so that would be cool. It would be cool, but also, sometimes culture and faith get mixed up a little bit, and so sometimes you think you're getting into something with somebody because you're like, oh yeah, all the boxes are checked and it's the same, but it's not.
Yeah, like I feel culturally Jewish, but I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm a I wouldn't present myself to somebody who wanted to marry a religious Jew and wanted to raise their kids going to Hebrew school every week.
Exactly, and so it's I think the spiritual principle part is important for me, but maybe it doesn't look exactly like you got to just you'll. I think when you know, and so I don't want to be closed-minded to anything. Yeah.
Did you have a school, like a Hebrew school type
Oh
of thing?
yeah,
that you had
I went
to.
to. Yeah, we had like a Sunday school. Yeah, that we went to.
How long did you have to go for? Every day?
No, just Sundays. I went on Sundays.
every all day Sunday or 2 hours.
Yeah, it was like a 5-hour
Sunday?
thing.
Nice.
I probably went. Yeah, I went for years.
Did you have friends there?
Yeah, I had a couple friends there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And did they transition well into like normal friends too, not just school friends?
There's like a couple of them. There's like 3 or 4 of them that like we're still friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you weren't like the only one.
Yeah. No, there were a couple. Cool
Having to go learn. Did you learn how to read?
I'm refreshing this year. It's funny because
Cool.
I've been trying to text all my family and friends who speak Arabic only in Arabic because I never really got it down, and so now I'm really trying to step it up. And I just ordered the first Harry Potter in Arabic so that I can I kind of wanted to like read. My friend Kyle was like, "Oh, you got to read." He's like relearning Spanish, and so he was
That's
like, "Oh,
what I did. I got the first one in Spanish.
you get the first one, right?
First Harry
you just,
Potter in
yeah, you just get a
Spanish?
book that you know,
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
and then you're like, okay, cool.
So you can like get the gist of it.
oh my god.
Yeah.
So you like kind of learn the language, but like passively
I
almost.
used to watch Sailor Moon in Japanese when I was taking Japanese, and
There you go.
yeah, in high school. Yeah. And let me tell you, Japanese Sailor Moon is a lot dirtier than American Sailor Moon. Like the way that we dub it, like you think Sailor Mercury and Sailor Mars, they're cousins in the American version. They're girlfriends.
Oh shit!
And they're like, yeah.
That's crazy.
And they like talk about hooking up and stuff. It's way better.
Damn.
Highly
no idea.
recommend watching in Japanese.
I have a question.
Sure.
So you were saying when it comes to dating someone, you're like, I don't really want to have to explain myself necessarily. Do you feel like you've had to explain yourself before, and like in what way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just there's certain things with the faith and the culture, and from super basics, like, oh, what does it mean that you're doing Ramadan, right? That's just on one level, and then there's other things that are just when you were raised the same way. I mean, I'm sure you feel it with your Jewish friends where you're like, oh yeah, you guys get the I don't even have to, I could just look at you and you're like, yeah, you know how that thing, just these little nooks and crannies of nuance.
But I'm just as happy if somebody else uses a Yiddish phrase correctly. I'm
Sure.
like, yes.
Yeah.
And you like bagels? Wonderful.
No, of course. But yeah, you don't always, it's not like familiarity and comfort is goal number 1, I'm just saying it would be, it'd be cool.
It would be nice and easy.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To find the
but it's-
perfect person.
Sure, but it's also tricky to say that that's the standard of perfection, So it's
Because there's so many other factors.
There's so many other factors, and that's why it really ultimately comes down to when you know, which sounds vague as shit. But
No, but that's what they say about orgasms too. And it's like the most infuriating, or was the most infuriating thing to me to hear when I was like, well, maybe I'm having them. Like I have this rash on my chest. I read that happens. Like, no, you're not. Like you'll know,
Yeah.
And I think people have that with love. And I don't think that there's just one anyway. Like we were talking about this with Fran last week. Like Like there could be cycles. Like you were saying, you could even like fathom getting divorced.
Sure.
Yeah. Like it could. There
wouldn't
could
be the goal, but yeah.
No, but it's somebody
But
that
it's not.
like.
I think the stigma around it is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your parents.
They're very happy.
Did you ever talk to them about like your feelings of guilt and stuff? Like, are they a part of that conversation?
No, I mean, I think they know from the work they've seen.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think I've talked about it maybe a little bit with my dad.
Or like talking about how like they've dealt with it. Like, I know it's different because
it's different. It's different. Yeah, it's a different thing. Yeah, it's different times. And the context is totally different.
the first time you had sex, how did you feel?
Weird.
Yeah,
I was like, was that worth it?
Oh.
It wasn't negative. I was just like, man, should I have done that?
And the first time, like, have you ever actually had a drink or done anything?
No, I
never.
haven't.
Okay.
No, I have not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was no ever feeling of fuck, that happened, and now I regret that.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing with sex has always been like, well, it's at least it's like a human desire. It's a very human thing. To me, the drinking stuff, I've never had like an urge. You know, there's no like real like hunger or thirst for tequila. You know,
Sure.
I'm not like, oh man, like since I was a kid.
I don't think I've ever. I just wanted to be like involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's so social in
Yeah.
a way that I actually don't care about. I've never really cared about.
Because you're just naturally social anyway.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I'm able to
Yeah.
operate. I don't need to do that.
Yeah. Somebody wrote on, I don't remember which comic this was, but basically that comedy is just being able to socialize at parties sober. Because like that's what you just do is like you're out and you have to talk to people and stuff, and hopefully you're not too fucked up so you don't fuck up your set. Fucking dog.
The dog.
It's the most annoying dog on the planet.
Okay, so you probably have you've got great feedback, but you also probably have some backlash from the community.
Sure.
Do you feel pressure that you're like representing basically everyone? Like, Charlotte, how many Muslims are there in the world?
1.8 billion.
Okay.
No, I mean, look, it's this is a very specific story. Even for Muslims in America, it's very specific. Most Muslims in America are black, and many are South Asian. Arab Muslims. It's narrow. And so we're looking at an Arab family in Jersey with one type of guy, one type of family, one type of friend. So it's really limited, and I try to make that really clear. And I don't feel the pressure of having to represent everyone because, I mean, I just don't think you should make things from the mindset of scarcity and like, oh man, we're never going to get another show, or we're never this, we're never that. We're going to have a lot of, I think with how limited my show is, it actually encourages more networks to do these shows because it shows them, oh, wait, we could do one that is completely from the position of a woman who wears a headscarf. Yeah. That's never, held hands with a guy. If we want to do that story, that's the story.
That's a different story.
I'd love to watch that story. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where the tension is a handhold. I mean, that's unreal. Like I'm so down. Or someone where it's not even, doesn't have anything to do with sex or violence, and it's just a different realm, a different story. So there's all these ways that these stories can be told, and I think to try and do one show that hits all of it or has every character or does whatever, I'm like, what are we making? Am I going to make like the equivalent of the movie Crash, where I just show like 9 storylines and so we can check every box and this and that. It's, that's not.
No, you're going to tell the truest.
I'm just going to tell the truest thing to me because that's all I know. I only know it's the only story I know, totally. and not that this is like that story is my real life, but these are my thoughts on things. These are like ways I've looked at the world and certain things, and so that's what I'm qualified to present.
Yeah, I also love watching your stand-up translate into show format. Like if anybody's like a real deep cut Ramy fan, like just watch his stand-up and see how it like translates into the. It's so cool.
It's every episode. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I loved also, because we're talking about the tension of a handhold. Remember on Birthright how the Orthodox woman was telling us how she had never even touched her husband, his hand, until they got married. Wow. Like,
so cool.
It was like,
that's so cool.
It's like a really crazy. She said the first time that they touched under the chuppah was like the most insane, electric thing ever. And then like once a month, like they don't have sex because like if you're an Orthodox Jew, like on your period, you have to like get cleansed and shit. And there's like
Wait, so you only have sex once a month?
No. You have sex a lot, but there's like 10 days that you can't. And you're not even allowed to like touch the person, but you could talk about what you want to do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then she's like, every time we like touch again, like it's that like electricity.
Yo, everyone should do that. Everyone should take 10 days off and be like, let's just, because that'll make it exciting.
It makes it better. Yeah.
There are definitely people out there listening like 10 days off. Like I'm getting that much action.
Yeah. Like some people are like, it's been 6 months. Yeah. Calm down.
Hilarious.
But I thought it's interesting how Jews are depicted on the show.
Yeah.
You've got one uncle who hates him.
Right. But it's interesting because he also works at the Diamond District and kind of speaks a little fondly of the people he works with, where he's like, well, they believe in something. They have a principle. I'm going to help them do business on Shabbat, And I think everyone kind of has a version of that uncle. I mean, you were talking about the people in your family who would go out of their way to say Barack Hussein.
Yeah.
So that uncle, he's algebraic. Okay, maybe he's saying stuff about Jews. Maybe he's saying stuff about Muslims. Maybe he's, supportive of the KKK. Maybe he's, everyone kind of has that presence in their life. It's that dude who has money and he's got these thoughts and he just kind of hangs around, he lingers. And, showing him was important because I think it'll be something that we grow from. We grow with that character and we grow with Ramy's relationship with him and kind of see, where does that come to a head?
And I love that character too, because we all do have, like, it was nice to identify, like, oh, yeah, okay, so they're talking about us in this way, but like, so do we. Like, everybody's doing it. And like, as long as like you don't have any intention to like hurt anybody massively, like, and try to check yourself and be nicer. But like, we all have that person. And like, most people in the family do have a problem with him.
Yeah, most people have a problem with him. And then also you look at romantically, the Ramy character, if he's not dating a Muslim woman, he's dating a Jewish woman. And so you kind of see the, we're so close to each other. I've like my closest friendships have always been with my Jewish friends. I think there's something about not celebrating Christmas that's so
that bonds
it's so
us.
Scarring and bonding, and it's like oh man, and you just when you're a kid and you can't do Christmas is
that's how cum felt to me. Like I was missing out on Christmas every day.
But it's such a shocking thing to not be able to do Christmas when you're like 6.
Yeah.
And then your parents are like, no, it's corporate propaganda. And you're like, oh, I'm 6. I don't want to know about corporate propaganda.
Do you know about the little tree that I drag home when I was younger?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, there was a Christmas tree like on the garbage that somebody had thrown out, and I took it with me and I dragged it home. We got home. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, Christmas. We haven't done it. Like everyone else is doing Christmas. She's like, no, we don't do that. I stole ornaments another year because I just wanted to be a part of it.
It's brutal.
Yeah, and then we had that creepy
weird Christmas tree.
Ugh,
yeah, then they took it in a direction
it had
that was
eyes.
just unnecessary. Yeah, they were like, if you want to do Christmas, we're going to do it scary.
Halloween and Christmas.
It's brutal. It's fucking brutal. Oh, also, the Times of Israel wrote up a little piece on the show.
Ooh, what did they say?
They said why every Jew should watch Ramy.
Amazing.
Yeah, what I appreciated about it was they got what we were trying to do. There have been like 1 or 2 people who said, hey, why the anti-Semitism or this or that. But for the most part, and obviously we have Jewish people who wrote on the show. And so
Jews and comedy? What are you talking about?
How do you think it got made? But, for the most part, I think they really understood what the goal was here, which is you don't hide that uncle. You don't hide that thing. You don't try to portray this idea that there's this, blinding unity. That's what makes a show feel fake.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
They end it also saying, hopefully someone tackles the concept from a Jewish perspective soon, because like no one is telling I guess like the Jewish story the way you tell yours.
Well, no one's talking about the practicing element of
Yeah,
it. You know, I
exactly.
mean, I think it's
Yeah.
like you have people who kind of are like, all right, let's do Shabbat or else grandma will cry. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's that storyline.
But it's
like,
not
where's
like the self.
Yeah, I want to see that self introspective,
Yeah.
person really dealing with the faith. You know,
Yeah.
I think I would love to see that from a Jewish perspective. I would love to. My friend Gavin, you know Gavin Matz, stand up. He was so funny. He was like, I want to make your show from the perspective of a Scientologist. And it made me crack up so much. I was like, that would be hilarious.
You guys, that's coming to Hulu next fall. Your show was renewed for a second season.
Yeah,
very exciting.
We're doing 10 more.
So you guys check it out on Hulu. Can you tell everyone where they can find you on the internet?
My name's Ramy, Ramy. That is my Twitter handle. It's my Instagram handle. It's just Ramy.
Perfect.
And the show's on Hulu, all 10 episodes.
And you'll be able to catch his HBO special in June. So exciting. We have to ask this to all of our guests after a sexual experience, which this has been. Ramy, did you finish?
Almost.
Okay, well, you can stay. Charlotte, did you finish?
I sure did. Did
Okay,
you?
great. Well, you can still stay.
Thank you. This is my apartment.
Yeah, I'm finished. This was great.
You can also stay.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Ramy, thanks for coming. I thought today was Ramadan, and so I was just starving in solidarity. It
Right.
turns out it is not Ramadan.
It's tomorrow.
So let's go get some
Tomorrow.
food.
So let's go get some food.
Thanks
And
for
we'll
having
see you
me.
next
Glad we
time.
did
And
it.
how come?
See you next
Bye.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz